The price of Bitcoin has been doing tremendously well for the past few days, and in today's episode we are going to be answering the main question that still stands. Is the price of Bitcoin finished having its consolidation phase? Are we going to be able to see 12,000 BTC in the near future, 14,000 BTC in the near future, or are we going to end up correcting to the downside? So these are both the bearish and bullish scenarios that we're going to be looking at. And the other thing that I really wanted to talk about in today's episode is obviously getting to talk about the BitMEX funding and premium index indicator, because this is a very important tool that a lot of traders basically neglect. So you guys definitely have to be looking at the BitMEX funding and premium index whenever you are about to do your trades, because it can give you a better understanding of where, or rather how, the general cryptocurrency traders are thinking, and this can basically get to help you make some better trades, and your trades are most definitely going to be a little bit profitable because you're going to be slightly way ahead of the game, and you guys are going to be basically be able to make better decisions based off of this. So anyway, welcome to this YouTube cryptocurrency channel. I go by the name of Muna, aka Beyond 10x. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the like button, and in case you've got any other questions, suggestions, drop everything in the comment section below. So anyway, getting back to today's video, I obviously talked about the fact that I'm generally bearish when it comes to this cryptocurrency market at this particular moment, because we've been having lower lows and lower highs. So if we look at what really happened in the past, right, we obviously had a similar situation where the price of BTC was trying to have some sort of double confirmation, if I can put it that way. Look at this. When that happened, right, we had another run up to the price of Bitcoin where we had to certify whether the bearish trend was indeed legit. So are we having a similar situation where the price of Bitcoin faced a lot of resistance right over here, and we are trying to do this for the second time? So is this run up been some sort of confirmation type of thing, which is going to help a lot of people just become very bearish because we are failing to pass the resistance? So obviously you guys have been seeing what has been happening to the price of BTC. Obviously we experienced this dramatic drop in the price of BTC, and the people who were fortunate enough to buy or rather scoop up the prices of Bitcoin at these low prices, these are the people who are really getting to enjoy this amazing run up. If you guys have been part of my YouTube channel, right, you obviously heard me talk about the fact that Bitcoin might reach as high as 16,000 US dollars. So obviously we did get to make a little bit of side money right over here, and at this particular moment, right, I'm only looking for selling opportunities right now, due to the fact that, just like I earlier talked about, right, lower lows, lower highs. So the most ideal investing scenario that you guys are supposed to be looking forward to is obviously getting to sell the pumps. All right, so previously when the price of Bitcoin was having its parabolic rise, right, the overall investing consensus was obviously getting to buy the dips. But this time around, right, after we solidified this amazing amount of resistance, and the price of Bitcoin has been steadily declining, right, the most important thing that you can obviously get to do is obviously getting to sell the pumps. All right, so get to sell the pumps. All right, so right now it really seems we are facing quite a whole lot of resistance right around this area. So if we are not even going to go as high as 11,171 US dollars, that is going to be very bearish, especially as far as Bitcoin is concerned. So obviously this is going to be a whole lot of resistance right around this area. So if you check out what has been happening, right, so right now the current price of Bitcoin is about 10,474, and today it actually reached as high as 10,644. And if we are obviously going to have the privilege of getting to experience the price of Bitcoin going as high as this level right over here, then obviously getting to add margins to your position is going to be very good as well, because you're going to end up having quite a lot of profit under the table. Because right now, as soon as a lot of people realize that we are facing a lot of resistance, right, there's obviously going to be a very bearish bearish scenario, and once more the price of Bitcoin is going to end up correcting to the downside. So eventually we are most likely going to end up breaking this amount of support right over here. So this is the amount of support that a lot of people are going to be looking forward to, like especially close to about 9,000 US dollars. So whenever that is going to happen, right, then expect the price of BTC to drop as low as 8,500 US dollars, even as low as 7,250. So this is going to be like my ideal buying area. This is going to be my buy zone right around this area, because I know for a fact that the price of Bitcoin has to go and test the 20 weekly exponential moving average, just like we have been talking about a whole lot of time. So I'm obviously expecting the price of BTC, whatever is going to happen to the price of BTC, right? This is a fact. This is factual. We have to go back and test this orange line right over here, which is the 20 weekly exponential moving average. So whenever that happens, right, then I'm obviously going to be looking for longing opportunities. So right now, guys, please do not fall for these market maker sort of trading scenarios, because a lot of people right now are getting carried away. A lot of people are becoming very, very bullish, as you can clearly see right over here, right? If we take a look at the BitMEX funding and premium index, right? So the past few days, everybody has gone from being bearish to being bullish, as indicated right over here. As you guys can clearly see, right, we are right around this area. And in the past, ever since we were within these levels, right, I'm sure you guys can clearly see this. So let me just adjust my highlighting color. Let me just do that so that you guys can clearly see that. So in the past, we were only going as high as this level as far as people being bullish and being way into BTC. But right now, look at where we are. We are slightly overextended as far as the BitMEX funding and premium index is concerned. So if we take a look at the 4 hourly, right, let's switch over to the 4 hourly. We've reached as high as this level. Okay, so these were the previous highs, and a lot of people really got wrecked. A lot of people really got carried away, and obviously only bad things get to like arise out of such situations. So we are in overextended areas as far as the BitMEX funding and premium index is concerned. So best believe sooner or later the market makers are going to be doing their thing. So the other thing that I really wanted to like talk to you guys about is obviously getting to identify legit run-ups. Okay, you guys by now have to be very, very professional, because you have been dealing with cryptocurrencies for a very long period of time, and sometimes these market scenarios are just like very, very easy to spot. So this whole run up right over here was basically a market maker type of play, whereby a lot of people, since a lot of people were shorting, a lot of people were very bearish around these areas, right? The market makers have to make their money, and they have to pump up the price in order for the people who were shorting BTC at these levels get liquidated. That's just how the cookie crumbles. This is how basically a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges get to make money. Like for example, BitMEX, Bitfinex, and all that stuff, where people get to like over leverage, right? These people are going to be punished. So the most important thing that you can get to do is, if you find yourself in a situation where you did short BTC, like let's say right around 10,200 US dollar level or 9,600 US dollar level, right? The most important thing that you can do is add a little bit of margin to your position. Like for example, on BitMEX, right, if you add margin to your position, right, your liquidation level gets to get increased, and you have a lot of leg room to go. So what I have been doing is I have been adding margins to my positions right around this area, because I started shorting BTC right around the 9,900 US dollars. Then I also added a little bit of margin right around the 10,200 US dollars, and today I added quite a lot of margin right around the 10,630 US dollar level, because I know for a fact that now we are definitely going to continue back. We're definitely going to continue going back down, because there's quite a lot of resistance right around these areas, and the most likely scenario, or rather the most logical thing to happen, especially to the price of BTC, is for the price of BTC to continue back down and eventually cracking this amount of support right over here. And then we are definitely going to like really enjoy the price of BTC going down, because we are obviously obviously way ahead of the game. So please do not really fall for the hype. If the price of BTC is going to go to about 12,000 US dollars, well, that's going to be very, very lucrative as well, because we are going to be changing our trading strategy as well. But anyway, let's look at the shorter time frame. Because as you guys can clearly see, I'm sure you guys can, clearly identify this type of pattern. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can already guess what I'm trying to get at right now. So this is most likely going to happen. So if you guys can check this out, this is obviously a head and shoulder pattern, right, which is going to be printed out obviously in the next coming hours. And due to the fact that today is Friday, 2nd August, we are going to be approaching the weekend, right? Obviously Saturday and Sunday are very slow days as far as trading cryptocurrencies are concerned. So obviously we're going to see a dramatic decrease in terms of the price of BTC. So anyway, is the price of BTC going to go higher up around these areas? Are we going to go and test this amount of resistance right over here once more, or has this been the highest value of BTC that we're going to be seeing, especially in the recent past? Or is this going to be like, the highest that the price of BTC is going to go? Are we going to end up going? And the other thing that I really wanted to ask you is, let's say, for example, let's switch back to the daily. If BTC dropped as low as, what was the percentage in this price drop? It dropped as low as 30%, right? It dropped from a high of about 13,161 US dollars, and it ended up correcting towards 9,112. How low do you think the price of BTC is going to drop if, hypothetically speaking, this is its recent high right over here? All right. Is it going to drop as low as this threshold right over here? Because if BTC can drop 13% all the way from about 13,000 US dollars, how low is BTC going to drop all the way from about 10,600 US dollars? Okay, that's just one question that I really want to you guys to think about. And when you get to answer that question, right, you're obviously going to plan your trades a little bit later. However, that is just my bearish scenario, and I also wanted to look at the bullish scenario, because sometimes you might just never know what might happen. We might just have a whole lot of buying power, and the price of Bitcoin might just end up going as high as about 12,000 US dollars. So as you can clearly see right from the OBV, we are having quite a whole lot of unbalanced volume. And let's say this was the lowest that the OBV level was going to drop at, right? Are we going to have a situation where the OBV is going to end up doing this and then just going up high? So how high is the price of BTC going to go, provided we really get to crash this amount of resistance right around this area? So obviously, the places that we are going to be looking forward to crashing the resistance is obviously 11,000 US dollars, because there's quite a lot of resistance right over here. So that's going to be one selling target for those of you who are longing BTC right around this area. And we also have quite a lot of resistance right around the 13,154 plus. Ultimately, we have 13,801 US dollars US dollar level right over there. So we've got 3 major resistance levels. So right now, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Only time will tell. I don't really know what's going to happen in the future, but looking at what has been happening, right, the highest probabilities for the price of BTC to have some more consolidation, to drop a little bit more, and just to gather a little bit of momentum as well. So as far as BTC being bullish, anything can happen. I was checking out the USD Tether printing, and right now if you look at the tether printing, right, tether is not really being printed out as it used to be way back in the day when the price of BTC was doing these parabolic moves. Right now the tether treasury is not really getting to print out a lot of tether, so where is the buying power going to come from? So if you look at the Google searches for BTC, they have obviously dropped down, so obviously a lot of retail investors are not really looking forward to like investing into BTC. So obviously there's a few bullish fundamentals, like for example Bax is going to be releasing their product pretty soon, so that is obviously going to increase the demand for BTC because the backed futures are going to be settled using actual BTC. So that is obviously very, very bullish. And also due to the fact that the world is expecting a worldwide crash, a lot of people are expecting a financial catastrophe anytime soon. So we might see a lot of millionaires hedging, or rather putting their money and just basically getting to like diversify and investing in non-dollar related investments such as BTC. So that might potentially push the price of BTC to the upside. But just like everything is just like we have talked about, right? Lower lows, lower highs. There's nothing else that I would love to talk about. Plus, the easiest thing that you can obviously get to like check out is right now, as you can clearly see, right, the price of BTC is trading above the 20 exponential moving average, which is very bullish. So are we going to continuously trade above the orange line, which is the 20 exponential moving average? If we're going to be trading above the 20 exponential moving average for like a very consistent period of time, then I'm definitely going to be very, very bullish. But right now this is not a lot of information to work with. We need a little bit of time. We need to see the price of BTC trading above the 20 exponential moving average for the whole week next week. Like every day next week should be, the price should be above the 20 exponential moving average on the daily, and that is going to be very, very bullish. But looking at the hourly, right, if you get to like look at the hourly is looking very, very bearish right now. As you guys can clearly see, the downward momentum has started happening right now as we are speaking. So if you guys are watching this, congratulations, you are seeing that the bearish narrative is beginning, or rather has started taking place, and eventually everybody else is going to jump on the bearish bandwagon. So this is one of the reasons why I always tell people to always be ahead of the curve and just basically get to like implement your trades before everybody gets to do it, because a lot of people are really becoming very, very bullish right now. But the tables are turning. If we take a look at the OBV, right, on the hourly, let's take a look at the unbalanced volume on the hourly, and you can see that we are having somewhat of a very bearish divergence right over here. If we take a look at the 30 minutes to 15 minutes, and as you guys can clearly see, the OBV has actually turned red. So this is a whole lot of selling pressure right over here. So this happened a while back when the price of BTC obviously had a lot of resistance right around that area, and this is obviously going to continue happening obviously during the course of the weekend, and we are eventually going to end up seeing the price of BTC correcting towards the downside. So this is the highest probability, because we have looked at both the bullish and the bearish probabilities, but the most highly probability to happen is obviously the bearish narrative, because if you look at the odds, right, so obviously the bearish thing to happen is for the price of BTC to go down. So this is one of the reasons why I'm not really getting to change my mind, simply due to the fact that the price of BTC has gone up about 10 to 15% in value. So I don't know, I'm just sticking to my guns. I'm just doing what I know best, and this is what I'm obviously expecting to happen. And the most important thing, that the most important candle that really made me change my mind was this particular candle right over here, because there was a lot of selling pressure. Can you see the amount of selling pressure that happened right over here, right? This is obviously a whole lot of high net worth individuals who got to like sell the price of BTC, and these are the first people to like get out. This is what we usually consider the smart money. So right now the smart money is obviously going short. The smart money is getting to like sell you know, a lot of BTC. So this is one of the reasons why the OBs, the unbalanced volume is like drastically, you know, decreasing down, and it's obviously pointing towards the downside, like with a whole lot of selling pressure. So anyhow, this is just what I basically wanted to talk about. So yeah, you heard my plan in terms of the bearish scenario. You also heard my bullish scenario as well, but the highest probability is obviously for the price of BTC to correct towards the downside. So please do not get carried away. Do not get too excited as far as BTC is concerned, because we've got a whole lot of resistance. We've got 3 types of resistances. Okay, we've got this resistance right over here. We've also got that resistance, plus we've also got the ultimate resistance of all resistances. So please be extremely careful. So yeah, it's been your boy Muna, aka Beyond 10x. And in case you've got any other suggestions, comments, drop them in the comment section below, and stay profitable. Yep, I'm out.